Guess who is back? It is a full house at Carrington today as Lisandro Martinez, Kobbie Mainoo, Luke Shaw, and Facundo Pellistri all reported for training at Carrington. They were the last remaining batch of players who represented their respective countries at different levels, both in Europe and out of it, because the Copa America was, of course, on, and Pellistri was part of the team of the Uruguay team, whereas we do know that Lisandro Martinez won it with Argentina, and of course, Luke Shaw and Kobbie were two generals from Man United who were part of England's final reaching exploits at the Euros. But that's the story of the past. Focus now is on the new season. The first season with Ineos at the helm of matters is fully being seen. It's underway now, I should say, because the first game is coming in 5 days. The Community Shield as Man United takes on Manchester City, hoping to punish them again. It is an important update that these players do return. Here is the good thing. A mandatory test is always carried out when players return from off-season, from rest. They are always subject to a mandatory test. And guess what? All of them have passed it. I know there are people who are hoping or who are thinking that maybe because of how injury prone they are, Luke Shaw and Lisandro Martinez mostly would probably not pass the test because of the jinx that has been chasing Man United. Injuries left, right, and center. Even in the last game, by the way, we played, there were injuries to what? Will Scott, to Johnny Evans. There were more players who were injured, just as they did not get as much prominence because they are not your main guys, your main stars. But the injuries are still there. But it's good to know that our new boys, or who are just returning from successful exploits, are back and fresh and fit. So meaning Eric Ten Hag, as they return from the US, he will be having a full squad at his disposal. I was going through the list of players that Man United has, and I'm actually amazed by the depth we are bound to have when we start the season. I'm amazed by it because it's not really at the level of Man City, probably, perhaps not quite there yet at Arsenal's level in terms of depth, but it's commendable seeing. I mean, because if you've got just the midfielders, we've got Mason Mount, we've got Bruno, we've got Kobbie, we've got, of course, Casemiro is still there, Scott is still there, we've got Pellistri. Of course, now those are wingers, but they're still midfielders. We've got Ahmad. We've got Jadon Sancho. We've got Marcus Rashford. We've got Antony. There should be depth, but the only issue is one, fitness, but also the quality in terms of levels. But in terms of personnel, you get a sense that perhaps even before Ineos came in, there was a thought of trying to have depth in the squad. It just didn't go right, probably. But at least in terms of numbers, depth in numbers is there. Perhaps not depth in quality, which is the more important thing. But you get the sense that if we add on Manuel Ugarte and Sofiane Amrabat to the middle, and let go of Scott McTominay and maybe Casemiro, you probably think that would be good now, depth both in numbers and in quality. It would be good depth for us in the middle. Then in the back line, we do know that United is taking back bid number 2 for Mathis Delete and Nusail Mazraoui. Again, that would be huge depth. You have Lenny Yoro there, Harry Maguire, and Lisandro Martinez, who is not bound to move a muscle. So the depth is being created. When it comes to the attack, we've got Rasmus Højlund, we've got Joshua Zirkzee, and Chido Obi. Depth. When it comes to the wing, my feeling is perhaps because of the injury to Antony, it's probable that Facundo Pellistri might not be loaned again immediately. He could be staying as a backup on the right wing, a backup to Amad Diallo. I'm thinking that could be a possibility. So, which would be a blessing in this case for him. I would want to see both Pellistri and Ahmad given a chance, with, of course, Ahmad starting, but Pellistri as well coming in more times than not, because you do recall at the time when Antonio dos Santos got issues with his girlfriends and stuff back in Brazil. Pellistri was getting his chances, and you could see that he was improving. He was almost trying to work his way up. But the moment that Antony came back, and this is something that angered Pellistri and his agents, well, the moment Antony came back, even if he had not even trained enough with the team, immediately the next game he was in the team, and Pellistri never kicked a football again for Man United. He never probably even made it to the bench again until he was loaned away to Granada. my feeling is this should be the opportunity for him. And if the injury to Anthony is serious, we want to give a chance to Pellistri, because Pellistri seeing Ahmad and Garnacho shine will push him to also want to come on and make an impact. So my feeling is he needs his chance, and this should be it. So I would hope that he's not loaned immediately. He did report for training. I would hope that he's not loaned immediately. So that's a beautiful situation at United. I think having all these players in shows you the level of depth we have, even before you bring in a couple of new more players. I think the players we need to bring in are more not to replace numbers, because we are okay with the numbers, but the quality, because it's the quality that we want, not the quantity. Ugarte, especially, and Delete are important signings for Man United. If we do get those, trust you me, this is going to be a very successful summer transfer window for Man United. So there is a bit of progress going on, and you love to see it. So Ten Hag, so it's going to be the first opportunity for Eric Ten Hag to have a semblance of what his squad will be like uh, in the new season. Certainly, some players will not be there, important players. That is from, of course, Rasmus Højlund up top, and Lenny Yoro. These are important players, but they can always come in and fit in. And the beauty is, Rasmus Højlund has worked with Erik Ten Hag before. I think for Højlund, he knows what to do to finish off the balls. I think the work for Erik Ten Hag and his backroom staff is more on getting the balls to him, which you think they are working on. I think the work that Ruud van Nistelrooy has been doing in the final third is yielding something. We see that chances are being created. We see that patterns are built in the final third. We see that Marcus Rashford is looking sharper. So you get the sense that at least this time around, Rasmus Højlund won't be leaving off scraps. There will be something for him to work with to try and get the goals that we do know that he can score. So it's all looking good. It's all looking promising for Man United. Now, Snapdragon, there is an update that has come in today that Snapdragon, the new shirt sponsors of Man United, want for the first time in the history of Man United to have a tour, a tour in India. That Man United to have a tour in India, where we know that of course United has got a lot of supporters in that side. There is a lot of support Man United has got that side. So the initial sponsors will be interested in buying the naming rights of Old Trafford if the club build a new stadium. This is another update that is coming in. That Snapdragon is coming in, with a lot of power and zeal. They would want to buy the naming rights of the Old Trafford Stadium to call it the Snapdragon Stadium. You see how money-minded Sir Jim Ratcliffe is. He wants everything to bring in money. Anyway, it's the football that he's got to use to make the money that he invested in. And if selling the naming rights would give them so, certainly that would be good, because if it's a new stadium they are building, forget about Old Trafford, give it a new name, new face, and make money out of the name. And I'm sure naming rights of a Man United stadium would really be sold for quite a couple of pounds. So it's probably a good venture for Ineos to look into. So that's where we are. A quick update that I wanted to give you. Of course, there is no significant progress now that I can tell you when it comes to the situation with the two players we are hoping to come in soon. That is Mathis Delete and Nus Almazraoui. We are just hoping that the new bid will be put in. When that happens, trust you me, I will be the first to let you know. But what we know is that United are ready with it, and soon it will be going in. My name is Webb. This is the Network Sport. Let me catch you later, guys.